Hello there and welcome to a brand new lesson. This is How Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. In this lesson, we are looking at the last question of BECE 2026, and that is question 6. We are doing all together. That is 6A, 6B, and 6C because they are all related. They are all based on one question. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to construct a frequency distribution table from raw data to be able to find the mode and the least frequent value. You should be able to calculate the mean. And then finally, you should be able to interpret the frequency table to answer real life questions. On the left hand side, we have solutions to the trial exercises of question 5C. And you can use that to compare what you have to check for your accuracy. Without much ado, let's quickly look into it. So these are the questions. It says, the data shows the shoe size of learners in a school. So we have the data displayed here. And the first one says you have to construct a frequency distribution table for the data. If the school supplies shoes to the learners, which size should they purchase in large quantity? Secondly, give reason for the answer in BI above. Now, which size will be purchased in less quantities? You have to give reason for that as well. And then the last one, find correct to the nearest whole number, the mean shoe size. Before we answer the question, let's look at the key concept we need to know. So in statistical terms, we have something we call the mode. The mode is simply the most frequent value. The mode is simply the most frequent value. So in our question here, the mode is simply which shoe size be purchased in large quantities. That becomes the mode. Then the second one, which is the least frequent, is the one that appears the fewest number of times. So that will be which size will be purchased in less quantity. You see, if we know the term, we'll be able to know how to answer the questions. The mean is simply the average of the data, and we use sigma fx over sigma f. You knowing what you are solving for helps you to know how the data or the frequency distribution table will be presented. You should take note that we need our f, that is the frequency. We need the x, those are the datas. That will be the data points we have here, and we need fx. So this gives us a clue of how the table is to be presented. Now let's solve the questions. So let's start with the frequency distribution table for the learners. So this is my table and we need our x. So the x will be the shoe sizes. We look at all the numbers that appeared. There is 4, 5, 6, and 7. There is no 8, there is no 3. So we don't include that. Then we'll put our tally over here, the frequency here, and the fx. We need fx because we would be solving for mean. In addition to that, we are going to need the sigma f. We are going to need the sigma f and then sigma fx. So now that we have all these on our table, let's put in our tally. So we have 6. So for each data point, we put a stroke. So for 6, we put the stroke here for the 6. Then you can easily come and cancel this so that you don't get confused. So we have 4. We put the 4 here. We have 7. Come to 7. You have 5. Put that for 5. You have 5 as well. You put 1 for 5. You have 6. There is 1 for 6. 4. There is 1 for 4. 5, 5. So 5, 5. 4, 6. So 4, then 6. 7, 5. So 7, then my 5. You know, for the fifth one, we cross 6, 4. So 6, 4. Then 6, 7. Wow. So 6, 7. Then 5, 6. So 5, 6. 4, 7. 4, 7. Then 5, 4, 5, 4. Then we have 6, 5, 6, 5, 5, 4, 5, then a 4. Then 6, 7. Okay, 6, 7. And then finally we have our 5. So we have our 5 over here. If you are done inputting your tally, you now come here and then put your frequencies there. So for our 4, we have 5 plus 2, which gives us a 7. Then for 5, we have 5 plus 5, that gives us a 10. Then for 6, we have 5 plus 3, that gives us an 8. And then for 7, we have what? Just a 5. Now we've solved for what? The sigma f. So we solve for sigma f, that is adding all of this. So 10 plus 7 gives us a 17, plus 8, we have a 35. We have 10 plus 7 giving us a 17, plus an 8, we have 25. Then 25 plus 5 then gives us a 30. So we have our 30 right here. Then we come to the fx. So fx is obtained by multiplying each x by its corresponding frequency. So 4 times 7 gives us a 28. Then 5 times 10, we have a 50. Then 6 times 8, we have a 48. And then a 7 times 5 gives us a 35. The same way, we would add all of this to give us our sigma fx. And when you add, you're expected to get 161. 161. So with that, we have all that we need to proceed. Hence, A has been solved. Then we come to B. B says, if the school supplies shoe to the learners, first of all, which size should be purchased in large quantity? Now, looking at the data we have here, there are more people with shoe size 5. See, so they have to buy in large quantity size 5 because it has the highest frequency. You see, it has the highest frequency. So that will be our solution for BI. Then the next question follows. We should give the reason for the answer. Now, I have even already explained that the reason is that it is the mode. You see, more learners wear size 5. So we definitely have to buy more of that. Okay. So in simple terms, you can say that size 5 is the mode. More learners wear size 5 than any other size. So the school needs more of it. And the next question says, which size will be purchased in less quantity? Which size is going to be purchased? From our table, you realize that 7 has the least number of individuals, right? So 7 is going to be purchased in less quantity. So you buy less of what? Size 7. And the reason your guess are as good as mine. The reason being that it is the least frequent data point in fewer learners wear it. So obviously fewer pairs are needed. So we are done with the explanation part. Now let's look at the calculation. Find correct to the nearest whole number the mean shoe size. We want it to the nearest whole number. Now, to solve that, we need a formula for mean, as I explained earlier on. So for C, the mean, which is written as this, is simply what? Sigma fx over sigma f. And doing our necessary substitution, sigma fx is simply what? 161 over, then we have our 30 here. Now you need to take note that the question specifically pointed out that you should be correct to the nearest whole number. So this you have here, you have to do your long division. All right. So after doing your long division, you are going to get approximately a 5.8 3. It actually goes on and on to 5.366, right? But since it says to the nearest whole number, while doing the long division, you can just end at 3. And you'd approximate it to what? 5. If you want to see how the long division is done, this is it over here. You can just follow along. So that basically ends BC 2026. That ends this playlist. Maybe in the future I'll do the objectives. That is, if you let me know in the comment section if you need that as well. This is how Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. If there's any issue of concern, you can always let me know at the comment section. As usual, I'll leave you with some exercises. So here are 5 exercises you can try on your own just to test your understanding. They are similar to what we just did. 5 in number. If this is your first time understanding, I think it will be of help to you. You can choose to subscribe if you so do wish, so that anytime I release a video, you'll be notified as well. Now that we are done with this playlist, if you need lessons on any of the strands or substrands, you can check on the homepage. We have done detailed and comprehensive tutorials on all the topics. In addition, there are exercises at the end of every lesson for you to try just to test your understanding. See you in our next lesson, and bye for now. Do stay safe and all the best as well in your studies.